What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our 5-part series of what to expect whenever you're selling your house. And in this particular video, we are talking about what to expect when receiving an offer. We're going to dissect all of that in this coming video. Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Andrew here with the Lake team in Houston, Texas. Welcome back to another fantastic video that we have for you guys today. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you have not already, smash that subscribe button down below. It'll warm my heart. Thank you very much. Hit that bell icon and hit that thumbs up button as well. At the Lake team, we try to produce the best real estate content for you guys each and every single week. But with that being said, let's go ahead and move straight into today's topic, which is what to expect when receiving an offer on your house. And I just want to reiterate to you guys that this is part 3 of our 5-part series of what to expect, right? And this one we're going over receiving an offer. So the first things first is, how do you handle lowball offers, right? Oh man, this is a big one. Okay, I want to explain why people may, first of all, I want to explain why people may lowball you in the first place. Well, let's say that you've been on the market for a long time, right? And we covered this, this potential chance of this happening in our previous videos. But let's say you've been on the market for quite some time, right? The buyers are going to think that something might be wrong with it. Nobody wants it. The sellers are desperate. Blah blah blah. I mean, there's a bunch of different reasons why somebody may want to lowball you. Or it could be an investor picking up a property that they want to, keep it for a buy and hold or a fix and flip, whatever the case is. But if you get a lowball offer, I want to stress this. I can't stress this enough. It's always imperative that you counter their offer, no matter how insulting that offer may be. If you are at $350,000 as an asking price and someone offers you $275,000, don't feel insulted, okay? It's okay. All the buyers are just looking to see where your head is at and how desperate you are. They may love the house, but they may just want to shoot their shot, right? They may want to shoot their shot and see what they can get out of it. So don't feel insulted. We actually, not with beautiful properties, but with properties that need a lot of work, we actually lowball the heck out of them to pick up fix and flips all the time. But so don't. But on the selling side of things, when I'm representing a seller, don't get offended. It's always important to counter their offer, no matter how low or insulting it may be. That doesn't necessarily mean we have to write up a formal counter, sign it all, and send it all back to them. And it could just be something as verbal to see how serious those buyers actually are. Next up, we are going to talk about non-realty items, right? So non-realty items can be additional leverage for you guys to use whenever dealing or receiving an offer, right? So non-realty items are anything that's really not, I guess you could say, attached to the house, right? So let's say, for example, a washer, a dryer, a refrigerator, let's say some racks in the garage, for storing, for storage. Let's say maybe a projector screen and a projector that was listed in the exclusions list. Things of that nature are all pretty much considered non-realty items. They're not necessarily, they're not in the house. They're not part of the house, basically. And if it's a fixture, then that needs to be listed in the exclusion section on the contract and on the MLS. But that's for another topic. But anyways, for those non-realty items, we can say that, hey, if you want us to, come down to 305, you're not going to get any of this, right? For example, let's say our asking price is 325, and they want you to come down to 305. You can say you're not going to get any of these non-realty items. But if you want these non-realty items, then we expect a full price offer or somewhere close to it. So you can use those. Just understand that you can use those non-realty items to your benefit and to your leverage, should you be okay with parting ways with those items. So next up, we don't accept any verbal commitments from a particular buyer in an offer. So if they say that, hey, we have an offer coming in, or will your sellers accept X, Y, and Z, and then you say, yes, I'll accept X, Y, and Z, and we're not gonna stop showings. We're not going to basically, tell everybody else that there's an offer accepted. I don't operate that way because buyers can back out. There's nothing in writing to protect you. There's nothing in writing to bind you as the seller and the buyer together. So the buyers could literally just walk away, no questions asked, and you're kind of screwed at that point because you told everybody else that your house is under contract, when in reality it is not under contract. So we don't accept any verbal commitments. However, we can sit there and go back and forth with them and say, yes, we will accept this. All right, we'll accept $300,000. or whatever the price is. We'll accept $300,000. Okay, great. Now we're going to wait on them to send that contract over, and then we sign. Once we sign, then we're technically under contract. But I'm not going to cancel showings. I'm not going to restrict showings, and I'm not going to tell other people that we are under contract when in reality we are not. So next up, once we do get that offer in writing and in hand, we can either sit down with you, go over on a meeting on Zoom, or however you prefer to handle that. But we want to go over the offers with you directly each and every time we get one. And then with that offer is attached to a net sheet. So we want to show you what exactly you're going to net after all the expenses, commissions, and taxes and all that stuff, and your mortgage is paid off. All that good stuff. We want to show you exactly what you're going to net. That way there's no hidden expenses or hidden surprises at closing, so to speak, right? You know what you're getting up front by having a net sheet in your hand and say, okay, if I accept this guy's offer, I'm going to net $100,000, right? Oh, that's great. Okay, maybe you wanted more than that, maybe you were expecting less, who knows? But our goal is to provide you and just be as upfront with you as we possibly can. That way you aren't surprised at closing when you thought you were going to net more or you thought you were going to net less. Like, you know exactly what you're going to get. Okay, next up is whenever it comes to counters, just understand that you can counter more than one time. Just because let's say you countered their original offer and they countered back, right? You don't have to accept their counter. Or you don't have to just decline their counter and never talk to them again. You can counter as many times as you want until you guys reach an agreement, or until the buyers walk away, or until you just say, I'm done countering, right? It is what it is, leave it at that. You could do that as well. But just understand, you can counter more than one time. There's no set rule of how many times you can counter before someone has to walk away. I mean, I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but I mean, you never know in today's world. I feel like I have to, do my best to explain to everybody, but you can counter as many times as you possibly want. And you can also put your foot down and say, look, I'm not coming down. I'm tired of playing this game. I'm not going to accept any less than this. And then it's up to the buyers from that point to either move forward or walk away. Next up, I want to go over this one. This one in particular is, it's not always the case. So don't roast me in the comment section below, but sometimes the first offer that you get is usually the best offer, right? I'm not saying the lowball offers. I'm not saying that, because you can counter back and forth with them, right? But then again, if that was the first offer that you got and you countered back and forth and they came up almost to your asking price, right? Weigh your options right there. Weigh your options, because that may be the better offer that you're going to get, right? And if they walk away and you go back, or that days on the market metric is continuing to tick upwards, right? You may make another mortgage payment, and it may be 2 more months before you accept an offer, and then you have to make another mortgage payment, right? So now you're at 3 months, because it takes 3 months to get to closing, or you accept an offer 2 months later, and then in 30 days you close. So now you have 3 mortgage payments to pay. When in reality, you could have just accepted their offer if you guys were $5K apart, but now you're accepting the same offer just 3 months later. See where I'm getting at? So it's not always the case here, okay? So don't kill me on this, but more often than not, I will say that most of the time, that very first person that makes the offer is probably going to be the better one to go with. Of course, if you need to counter, we counter and go back and forth and try to get as close as we possibly can. But yeah, just understand it's generally speaking, it's the better. The first one is always the better one. And this next one kind of goes hand in hand with the last topic I just said, right? So pay attention to how long you've been on the market, right? Does it make sense to go ahead and accept their offer? I know you might be 5 or 10K apart. Does it make sense for you to go ahead and accept that offer? Maybe you've been on the market longer than you anticipated. You've been on the market longer than you wanted to be. And then if you let these guys go, are you going to accept the same offer 3 months later, right? So just pay attention to how long you've been on the market, and then you could refer back to basically your big why. Like, why are you selling your house in the first place, right? So if you have that big why in the first place, like, okay, well, it's been 3 months. I don't want to do this any longer. I'm okay with selling it, $10,000 less than my asking price, or whatever the case is, right? Just pay attention to how long you've been on the market and reflect back to your original goals of why you were selling in the first place. So last but not least is, know when to just let that buyer walk away, right? When do you let that buyer walk? That's a really tough question, right? If the buyers are being extremely difficult to work with, right? We're in the beginning stages of the negotiations. If they're being extremely difficult to work with, they're not going to budge on price at all. You know, if they're like so far below than what, you know, you're anticipating or your asking price, they're so far below that price, they're just not negotiating with you at all. They're very difficult to work with. It may be best, honestly, just to walk away altogether, because if they're that here's how I look at it. If they're that difficult to work with up front, then they're going to be that difficult or even worse whenever they're in their negotiating phase and when it comes to their inspections, right? So once they do their inspections, they might hit you up with 100 different items to do or to repair, or they're going to walk away. So if there comes times like, does this buyer really like this house or not? Like, is he committed to this house or not, right? Or is he just trying to score the deal of a lifetime? So you need to kind of weigh those options, engage, you know, where they're at, where the buyer is feeling at. And if they're difficult to work with up front, they may be difficult to work with later on. So bear that in mind and know when to walk away from, you know, going back and forth with somebody before you go under contract with that buyer. So I know this video might be somewhat confusing to some of you guys. And if you have any other questions regarding this topic on, you know, receiving an offer and what to do with it, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll do my absolute best to give you the answer you know, to your question, and then, you know, we can go from there and just figure it out to, you know, the best direction of where to go. Maybe by this point, if you do have an offer, you might be represented by an agent, so it's probably best not to reach out to me. It's probably best to reach out to your agent. I can't really discuss that kind of stuff with you if you're not my client in the first place. But anyways, if you are my client, or if you are thinking about selling your house and you're watching this process, you're watching these videos that we are producing for you guys, and if you have any questions about this particular topic, please reach out to me via email or text message or phone call. I would do my best to answer your questions. All right, guys, well, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Let me know what you think of this video or any other topics that you'd like us to cover in the comments section below. And if you have any further comments or questions, visit us on our website, and from there you can reach out to us directly. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll leave all that information in the description of this video as well. And don't forget, before you leave, smash that subscribe button down below, hit the bell icon, and give me a thumbs up if you did like this video. Here at the Lake Team, we try to produce the best real estate content to get to you guys each and every single week, so you can make the most educated decision when it comes to buying and selling a house. And with that being said, I'm Andrew with the Lake Team here in Houston, Texas, and I will see you guys next week.